I say all the king's men, you can kind of figure it out just by looking at this picture. This happened today. This is Luigi Mangione. He arrived in New York City today, being escorted by a slew of police officers. And there's Eric Adams right there, mayor of New York, also escorting him, which is pretty interesting considering the fact that Mayor Adams is also indicted. So you have Mayor Adams, who's been indicted, who is escorting Luigi Mangione. Like, I don't know what's happening here, but this to me just reminded me of something that I have seen before. We're going to get into all of that and why this is ridiculous. United Healthcare CEO killing latest Luigi Mangione faces federal charges, including stalking and murder. So they have added another charge on top of terrorism, which is stalking. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Who's watching? Luigi traveled from Georgia to allegedly stalk and kill United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. And they said that he targeted the healthcare industry because it checked every box. One of a number of entries in a notebook in which the suspect discussed the plot in weeks before the brazen crime, according to a federal criminal complaint. So now they found this notebook. Mangione was hit with 4 federal charges Thursday, including stalking, firearms offense involving a silencer, and murder through use of a firearm, and a charge that makes him eligible for the death penalty. Everybody, you see what they're doing. They are really trying to make an example out of Luigi Mangione. They're now saying that he is eligible for the death penalty. Now you tell me, because I have seen people that have been mass shooters. We have seen people that have killed way more people, allegedly, and they weren't eligible for the death penalty. So they're trying to make an example out of Luigi. You got to understand that. This picture that you see here, you know why they have all these people around him? Intimidation. They're trying to intimidate the American people because they want you to be afraid. They are sending a wink and a nod to the elite class. You have to understand, all of these cops surrounding Luigi Mangione is not because they believe he is incredibly dangerous. It is because they are sending a message to the elite class. It is a wink and a nod from the police to the elites to let them know we got your back. Because poor people get killed over and over again. And I don't see this many officers surround these people. Dylan Roof walked into a church and killed 9 people. He didn't have this many officers surround him. And you guys have seen it as well. So this is what they're doing, folks. They're sending a message to the elites to let them know we got your back. Don't worry, CEOs, we got your back. And the people aren't buying it. The public is not buying it. It says the federal complaint contains previously unreleased excerpts from the notebook that police said they seized from Mangione. Authorities said the writings express hostility towards the health insurance industry and wealthy executives in particular. You see what I'm saying? They are sending a message, folks. It goes on to say here, according to the complaint, an entry that was marked on August 15th said the details are finally coming together, and I'm glad in a way that I've procrastinated because it allowed me to learn more about, and it says acronym for a company. In an entry marked on October 22nd, 2024, the writing said, 1.5 months, this investor conference is a true windfall. And most importantly, the message becomes self-evident. Later on in the entry, the pages described an intent to whack the CEO of one of the insurance companies at its investor conference, the complaint said. So they have found this notebook, And now they're saying that they have basically everything that they need to put him away. Like I said, they're even saying that he is eligible for the death penalty. And I want to show you what this looked like earlier today. Tired peasant said, "Where's the police force when someone shoots up a school?" So you see how now all of a sudden, watch this. This is when he entered New York City. All of a sudden, all these cops are available. Dramatic, right? Like you would have thought that they were escorting a serial killer. I mean, you would have thought that they were escorting Charles Manson, right? No, this is to send a message. You'll see another one here where he arrived as well. Look at all these people
here over the rotors of the helicopter. Talk to us about what you're seeing now and just the scale of the law enforcement presence there.
Yeah, like I said, I've never seen anything like this, Boris, to be quite honest with you. There are just law enforcement from so many levels here, and it's very clear, as you just saw, that walk from the helicopter all the way down that pier to that Sprinter van, which he just got into, while he's shackled. They clearly want the photo opportunity to show what they believe they got their guy. I mean, that's what it really feels like, because that was like a long perp walk, as we would call it in the news industry. And now we're told in that Sprinter van he will travel to a federal building where he will be federally processed. I also
hear.
So that's another one of the videos I wanted to show you. And I want you to see also how people are discussing this on social media, because I think what they tried to do again is to intimidate the public with the pictures that they showed. But these images didn't intimidate people. People on social media calling Luigi a straight up G. Like people, and I'll show you here. Let's go ahead and add these in here. Power to the people. And you can see this, the scene of this.
His newly retained attorney, account of federal murder through use of a firearm, a firearms offense as well for using a silencer and muffler in the alleged murder, as well as 2 stalking charges as well. His newly retained attorney, Karen Agnifilo, suggested that federal charges in this case would be overkill. I just want to note, you see New York City Mayor Eric Adams not far behind Mangione there. Again, a very large law enforcement presence. This was an incident that sparked worldwide attention as Mangione was able to get away soon after the murder, clearly in what was a calculated move, as well as investigators finding key details in the search for him. That book bag in Central Park full of Monopoly money, one interesting detail. I believe Bridget.
Like people are on, and the media, corporate media does not understand like how wrong they are getting this. There are people protesting outside saying free Luigi. Like the images that they're showing you is actually helping Luigi. Someone has a sign here that says free Luigi.
Good luck. Absolutely, yeah.
Do you mind?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, and you'll see more images like this. She said privatized healthcare is not a crime. Even this picture here, power to the people, that one big performance by the NYPD, and it backfired spectacularly. Their goal was to make Luigi Mangione look like a Batman villain. Instead, it made him look like a folk hero who fought back against the system that puts profit over our own lives. Like literally, like they just don't, they are, look at this picture, look at this image and tell me that this doesn't strike a chord. Because seeing that image doesn't make a lot of people feel worried. It doesn't make them feel fearful. It makes them feel empathy for Luigi. And I saw this picture and I had to say to myself, is this Batman? Is New York City supposed to be Gotham? Like, what is this? It kind of reminds you of the scene in Superman when all the cops surrounded Superman and they arrested him. That's what this reminds you of. What the hell is this supposed to be? So this is not something that makes people fearful. It makes people look at this and say, that's the guy who tried to help all of us in the healthcare system. And they don't seem to understand that the expression that they tried to portray with this image is not what happened at all. Not what happened at all. This was over dramatic. I didn't see them take anybody else in like this. People who have killed hundreds, thousands, people who have killed multiple people. You didn't see them take them in like this. There were people online saying that this could be an album cover. Like, I'm not kidding. It's working in the opposite direction because people are seeing this and they said that could be an album cover. People are online and they're saying they took Superman. Like, the public is not turning in your favor because the public has suffered under the healthcare system that Luigi was talking about. And this is not to advocate for violence on the show. We do not advocate for violence on the show. But every step that corporate media is trying to take and law enforcement and the criminal justice system is trying to take in this particular case, it is not winning over the public in their favor. Why do you think some of them said stop showing his face? People aren't looking at this and they're saying, oh my God, I'm so glad you caught the guy. No, they're not. People are saying the exact opposite. That's what they don't understand. So this is not a win. This is not a win. And for Eric Adams to be there, talk about the pot calling the kettle black. So they are not getting the perception that they think they would get. And even in this clip here, here's another one, which I also thought, like they said, making him meet Eric Adams is cruel and unusual punishment. And as you'll see it there again, it reminds you of the scene from Superman. That's what it reminds me of. So get out of here with this, man. We have watched people that were serial killers. They didn't treat Charles Manson this way. They didn't treat Dylan Roof this way. This is a sign from the police, from law enforcement, to the establishment, to the elite, to let them know if somebody comes after you, we got your back. Because once again, law enforcement protects capital. They protect wealth. All these poor people and working class people that have been killed, when their killer is caught, you don't see this happen because they don't give a damn about you. You aren't worth as much. It's a class issue, and we cannot listen. I don't care which way you are on this particular subject, but the one thing I want to drive home, it is a class issue, what they are doing. Now, all of a sudden, we're supposed to sit back and believe that the police are doing their job, that they're heroes. Oh, look at them saving the day. How many people have watched? How many people watching the show have had loved ones, have had people that they've known that have been killed, that have been murdered, and the police gave up and never even tried to solve those cases? You don't make enough money. You don't have enough billions. You were poor. You were working class. They're not trying to find your killer. But because he went after someone that was wealthy, someone that was a part of the system, entrenched in the healthcare system, denying claims, getting profit after profit for denying even more, wanting to implement AI software to deny even more claims, getting richer off the deaths of people. They had to make sure that they would catch the alleged killer here. And I'll tell you, there are a number of people that have came onto the show that were healthcare activists that have lost loved ones, and nobody tried to help these people. Law enforcement wasn't there to help them. The woman that just came onto the show to talk about the gentleman that was killed in Fall River, Massachusetts. Anybody trying to help the family? No. They don't make enough money. So this is seriously over dramatic. And that brings me to 11 demands. And I think Eric's going to come on to talk a little bit about this.
Hello. We're certainly in quite a moment here with we'll call it the CEO situation to watch our language on YouTube here has certainly like captured people's has certainly captured something, and there's something going on here. And so what I wanted to do kind of a connect the dots thing of like, all right, here we are, and where do we kind of go from here? Like, what do we do as like the left and the real left? And what I always go to is, let me bring this up, is MCDS is kind of what I always get my thing on here right here, is what I always kind of come back to, right? The money, corruption, demands, and solutions. And the money part is well on display here, as you were just saying. Money's ruling the show. The government, the system is corrupt. And people, if you ask people about the system of the government, do you think Congress is corrupt? You'll get a pretty high percentage of yes. So when you're going through MCDS, what I always try to get to next then is the demand. Because I think if we go from here into what is our demand, I think that really gets us somewhere. And the demand in this case is about healthcare. And if we go into our 11 demands list of demands, number 2 is the idea of healthcare for all. And you notice it's not Medicare for all, right? Medicare for all is a compromise, right? We need to be talking about real healthcare for all, a real, U.S. national healthcare system. And, the reason it's one reason it's 11 demands is the idea of turning it up to 11, like not just asking for compromises. And so, I'm saying when it comes to like healthcare, demand the whole U.S., national healthcare system, and ban for-profit health insurance, just period, as a thing. That needs to be just a straight up demand, and reject the privatization schemes, include all the best aspects of healthcare, protect bodily autonomy, cover all aspects of healthcare. And we're also would need to deal with the pharmaceutical industry and turn it from this for-profit monster that's behind a lot of this stuff, and turn it into something that serves the public good. And so in laying that out, that's kind of what I'm trying to get to, is the idea that we need to be connecting this to real demands and saying these are the things that we need to have as the 99%, or else more stuff like's been happening is going to happen. And then just to finish up, in order to get there, then you have to get to demand number 1 and fixing the big money, because the big money is running everything. And so then you're getting into solutions and the things in there and how you get to that. So I'm proposing we connect this into demands that we have. Let me clear this up. That we're clear about that, and the solutions, and we try to make the demands back a mass movement.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Eric. And I do want to show people something that did happen outside of the courthouse. Jordan Sheraton was there on the ground. And I do want to show you guys that really quick, because I thought that was pretty interesting. Jordan Sheraton from Status Quo was there on the ground. Let's go ahead and pull this up
today.
here.
The big ones like United Health, Aetna, rarely cover mental health in network, and therapists actually refuse to use them because they don't get reimbursed enough. They don't get the right amount in order to make a living, and they also take forever to even, approve their claims. And so most therapists are actually out of network. You have to pay
to get a good therapist out of network. You're lucky if it's less than like $200 for an hour.
Exactly. In New York City, definitely above that. And so it's a crisis of chronic pain, mental health care. Chronic pain, the opioid epidemic is long-standing and continues. Post-pandemic, I think mental health and chronic pain have really come to a climax in some way. And I don't know. I think it's hopefully people feel enough of that pain to really come out and do something about it, right?
Right. And I want to get to this point here. She brought up that part about the which I thought was really important, about the mental health. That's another thing that I do want to mention. During the pandemic, some of these health insurance companies, they did give, some type of leeway towards mental health treatment then during the pandemic, during the lockdowns, which goes to show you they could have been doing that all along. This, they reveal it right in front of you. And I do think that is, a necessity for some people need that for healthcare. So Jordan was outside of the courthouse of the arraignment in New York City. I want to show you part of this as well. I think Jordan comes in right about here.
It's also a form of fascism. And if you see here, you see they got pretty hefty police presence outside the courthouse here. Nicole, $5. Thanks for giving him the benefit of the doubt. Akira, $9.99. I went to school to be a cop only for them to not hire me, even though I have no record. Things keep getting more and more corrupt. Kind of glad I'm not a part of this broken system in the end. Kushush.
Yeah, so you guys see there, and this is another thing that I was going to mention as well. Again, I have seen more high profile cases where they did not have this type of police presence. Like this is insane. This is ridiculous. And again, they're trying to intimidate you. They literally brought all the king's men to escort Luigi to court. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.